everybody, welcome back to episode 11 of Lizap. You're listening to the voices of Nick Giamonti.
Richie Pagnotta, what's up, everybody?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. If you're listening on Spotify, hello. If you're watching on YouTube, also hello.
Hope you like our faces. We
Yes.
tried to look good today.
The people who are on Spotify don't want to see our faces. They just want to listen to our beautiful voices.
I don't blame them sometimes.
But anyway, Richie, how's everything going today?
Things are good. You know. It's a little sunny out. It's supposed to rain the rest of the week, so...
Oh, man, I get out of work early this week.
Oh, yeah, thunderstorms like the next 3 days.
I was going to wash my car and go to the beach. I guess that is not happening.
Your car will be washed, and you cannot go to the beach.
I'm just going to go outside with soap, and as soon as it starts raining, I'm just going to just wash it really quick. So, whatever. I'll just grab some food.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with food and nap.
Yeah, I gotta go grocery shopping tomorrow.
I can also catch up to Umbrella Academy Season 2.
Great show. If you haven't watched it, definitely check it out.
Yep.
Well, while we're here, guys, now we can bend your ear a little bit. Let's talk about the Yankees. What's going on with them?
Had a tough weekend against the Rays.
So we last posted our video on Friday, right?
Yeah, so last video came out last Friday.
Yeah, so since then it's been 4 games been played. The Yankees have gone 1-3, which is very, 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 very bad.
Bad.
But everyone's like, oh, this is the end of the world. Yankees suck. Trade away the team. Do this, do that. Find better players. But you got to look at what happened.
Classic Yankee fans.
We lost the game by 1. We lost a 7-inning game by 2. And then we lost another game by 1.
The one where Paxton started should have been a win.
Yeah, Paxton went.
That was rough. And
6 innings, 11 strikeouts, and he had a very, very low pitch count. He was in the low 80s when the inning started. Got an out, gave up a double, then gave him a home run, then gave him a back-to-back home run. So it was tie game 3-3, and they took him out. Jonathan Holder came in. He pitched really well. Then Britton came in, and he just didn't have his best stuff.
But we can't really blame it on Britton because he came in and he was in a weird scenario where the bases got loaded, and look, he only let up 1 run, which happened to be the winning run.
Of course.
So if the Yankees were still up 3-0, that 1 run wouldn't have affected anything. We would have won the game, but he was looking really good, Paxton, and it just came down to that really bad inning.
What really came down to is we were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Sanchez,
we just didn't really hit
Urshela,
well this whole series.
Urshela, your boy, Urshela, 0 for 2. Judge 0 for 1, Torres 0 for 1, Voit 0 for 1, Ford 0 for 2. Nobody could hit with runners in scoring position. It's a trend. Keep this in mind. When we lost 3-5, okay, we went 3 for 6, and LeMahieu 1 for 1, Judge 0 for 1, Torres 1 for 2, Voit 1 for 1, Ford 0 for 1. When we won 8-4, we still went 1 for 7 with the only hit with Urshela. And that game was all from home runs. That's the only reason we won that game. And then the game we lost 0-1, we went 0 for 5 with runs in scoring position. LeMahieu, Sanchez, Judge, Torres, Voit, all 0 for 1. And that's been the problem with the Yankees for the last 2 or 3 years. They just can't hit with runners in scoring position. And it's unfortunate because we wasted brilliant games this week. Tanaka, 5 innings, first game back after concussion. 5 strikeouts, was dominant. 1 hit, no walks, you couldn't touch him. Next game, Garrett Cole. He didn't go 5 innings, which sucks, but he's got to, get a little bit more efficient. Throwing 107 pitches in less than 5 innings is not really good, even though there were 10 strikeouts. But again, another game with a home run, which is unfortunate. King, he had a really bad first inning. It was terrible. 5 walks, 3 runs, 1 hit. Terrible outing. But, after the first inning, he really settled down and became more consistent in his pitches, and nobody really made contact with him after the first inning.
And that was on the day of the doubleheader.
Yeah.
So that was game 2.
That was game 2 of the doubleheader. And that's another thing. With doubleheaders, it's very rare that a team sweeps a doubleheader. So the fact that we split it, I'm okay with that. And then,
we got at least one win out of that series, because if we would have got swept by the Rays, and I'm not going to say dish the Rays because they are a good team, they're just having kind of a rough start.
They'd be tied in first. We'd both be 9-7.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah, and like I said, Paxton, he had a dominant game, 11 strikeouts, but he gave up 2 home runs late in the 6th, and that's really what doomed us this week. Just can't hit with runners in scoring position, and these pitchers outside of Cole, no one's getting wins. What's their record? Do you remember it off the top of your head?
The Twins record?
No,
not the Twins. I'm
Yankees
sorry, not the
outside
Twins.
of Cole pitching. It was like Cole was...
Just take 4 games off because he's won 4 games so far.
Yeah, so... Well, 3. Because he didn't get the credit for the win the other day.
Oh, he didn't?
He didn't pitch 5 innings.
I thought he actually got the win for that one.
When Cole pitched previously to this, the Yankees were 3-0 with like a sub-3 ERA, and any other game started by not Garrett Cole. The Yankees were, I guess, to take a game away, take away 3, so 4. They were 3-3 or 3-4, something weird, something not great.
And don't forget, last week going into the series before the Rays, the Yankees had one of the best records to start off the season.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not taking anything away from that.
They were doing really well, and then once they hit the Rays, things kind of changed a little bit. Yeah,
once they hit the Phillies and Rays, everything slowed down. But outside of Cole, the Yankees' starting pitching has been trash. That their ERA is well over 7. They lose more than they win, and you can't rely so much on the Yankees' bats. I mean, outside of LeMahieu, no one's gonna hit you 300. Okay, Urshela's having another good start to the year. So I will say that.
Judge is having a great start, too.
Oh, Judge having a great start. It's slugging .717. And, I mean, even look at Stanton. Stanton was hitting about 300 before his injury. And don't worry, we'll get to that in a minute. But, you know, the team's a team that's going to consistently hit well under 300. They're not going to produce well with runners in scoring position. And you really, 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 your pitchers need to be on their A game. Because as long as you can go 6 innings and give up 1, maybe 2 runs, you'll be fine. Because if you make a mistake to this Yankees lineup, you're going to pay for it. Mayhew's going to hit at least once a game. Judge is always a threat for a home run. Hicks is terrible right now. Voit is just a power guy. Torres is another solid guy who is starting to, get lukewarm.
Still very slow.
Ford's okay, but he's another guy who you're not afraid of right now. Urshela.
But he's not playing every game.
No, well, right now he might be.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying. Well, now he is due to
next month,
injury. But before he wasn't playing every game, so his batting average is still a little low.
Well, yeah, he's not getting as much at bats, but he's also not making the best of his at bats he's getting. Sanchez, I don't want to talk about him right now. I'm sorry.
103 batting average. That's horrible. That's what a lot of the people on the Astros are batting right now.
Why is that so much worse than Torres batting 157?
It's not. I think Torres is playing like shit, too.
All right, just making sure, because a lot of people just like to harp on Sanchez.
Torres defensively is doing very well right now, but he's just not... We need a good 8-game series against the Orioles right now for Torres. That's what we need.
And then Gardner's batting 200. It's not the best right now, but we briefly mentioned it real quick. Well, before I switch topics, what are your thoughts on the week?
The weekend or the
weekend that the games we just went through?
I think it was very rough. We lost 3 out of 4 against the Rays, and look, the Rays are still third place right now. Actually, they might have moved. They might have moved up to second place because I think they're above 500 now. But look, you can't sleep on the Rays. In the past couple of years, it's definitely been proven that the Rays are the Yankees' competitive team in the AL East.
Yes.
And going up against them this weekend, going up against Glasnow, Chanel. It's rough. It's rough because they pitched
Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton.
I was very disappointed this weekend with the series. I thought that the team that we saw a week previous, where everyone was playing great, pitching was doing pretty good, that definitely fell apart this weekend. And I don't know if the Yankees got tired from having like a 7-game winning streak, but it was definitely a rough series for hitting and starting pitching. Right now, the only green light we're getting right now is maybe some players doing pretty well, like Judge, LeMahieu, and Urshela, and our bullpen. That's the only thing holding the team together right now, and that's got to be a huge wake-up call because, especially this year, there's no trade deadline. The trade deadline's at the end, well, not like our normal trade deadline in the middle of the season. It's in weeks. August.
Yeah, end of August.
And do you really think the Yankees are going to trade for a huge pitcher in a year like this?
They're not. I don't think they're going to go for a pitcher. They're going to go for a lefty bat because that's what this lineup needs. That I said it last week that the problem with the lineup is it's so good, but there's 2 lefties that you're playing every day, and then you have Hicks who's a switch hitter, so it's 50-50 on what he's going to do.
Do you think if we go after a lefty batter, do you think we clean up the outfield? Do you think they finally trade Andujar?
It depends on who they get. If they wind up making a trade, oh God, I don't know.
We're getting Mookie Betts, and I'm kidding.
No.
That's just a joke. That's not a serious comment.
I don't know what if Arenado's a lefty or a righty, but I can see them making a trade where
He's
they...
a righty.
Yeah, then I wouldn't do that. I don't know. They'll go after anybody who they can feel can improve the team. So they definitely need a lefty bat, but who would it be? Now here's what we have. Now Stanton's hurt. He's out for a month, 3 to 4 weeks with a grade 1 hamstring strain.
He's pretty much out until the last part of the season.
Yeah, well, the one thing that we can take some solace in is that this is the most minor of hamstring injuries you could get. So he should be able to work his way back, and he should be back to hopefully
which
normal.
Sucks because he was playing really well, and I was finally getting on the Stanton train.
And I was telling everybody, this is going to be his year, you know, the 3 hot months of the season. When he's hot, he's going to do great. But I don't know what we're going to do right now. So we called up Clint Frazier, finally.
I'm so happy with that, but he's still not playing today.
Yeah, he's going to be on the bench. You know,
hopefully he plays in tomorrow's series against...
They might have to, like, sit him for a game, you know, test him, make sure everything's making sense and working right. And they'll probably pick him up off the bench if need be.
They could, I mean, if Gardner in the first couple of innings goes 0 for 2, they could just they might bring Frazier in if he's at the ballpark. I don't know if he's at the ballpark yet.
Yeah, that's the other thing we don't know. It's Yankee Stadium, so he could be there, but I'm not too sure where he is in transit right now.
Let's go over tonight's lineup, and then we'll talk about what we think is, you know, going to be the strongest points of tonight's lineup. What may be still the weakest points of it.
Yeah.
So we're starting off with DJ LeMahieu, Aaron Judge, Aaron Hicks, Luke Voigt, Gleyber Torres, Mike Ford, Gio Urshela, Gary Sanchez, Brett Gardner, and that's it. We have Jordan Montgomery on the mound. He is 1 for 1 so far. His ERA is in the 3s right now. So we'll see if he can bring that down tonight. I saw something that the Yankees, I think in the history of playing interleague against the Braves, are around like 31 and like 19.
I love that because I don't care for the Braves at all. Listen, they're a team that does scare me, you know. They do have a lot of young pieces on the team between Acuna, Freddie Freeman.
Do they still have Nick Markakis in the outfield?
I don't know.
Because I know he was like their, like that was their veteran of the team was Nick Markakis.
Yeah, no.
They got Dansby Swanson. You got Freddie Freeman, Ozuna.
I forgot they got Darno.
Darno.
Been 400?
Flowers.
What?
Yeah.
This isn't that great of a team.
You don't think so? The Braves
I like Acuna.
the past couple of years.
I like Acuna. Swanson's okay. Freeman's great. Ozuna he's a power guy. Darno sucks. Duval's okay. Riley, no.
I know who Riley
Flowers,
is.
I mean, okay. He's their backup catcher. So then Camargo, no. They're playing this guy. We're playing Tuki Toussaint. I've never heard of him. His ERA is 6. And Montgomery's ERA is actually a 5.6.
Yeah, I had that backwards. Sorry, it's 5 points. I don't know where I got the 3 from. I'm thinking of Garrett Cole. He's in like the 3s right now.
But yeah, so I like the lineup, but I would do a few things to change it. Keep LeMahieu and Judge 1-2. I like to say start Judge first, but keep him second. I don't know why Hicks is batting third. I understand Torres is slumping, Sanchez is slumping, and you know you got to move them around and get them some easier pitches. But I keep Gleyber third. I don't know why he's batting fifth.
Voigt's fine at 4.
Yeah, he's okay at 4.
He could be our cleanup. Then move Mike Ford up. And yeah, like you were saying, I would replace Hicks and Torres.
I'd push Hicks down on the line. I'd flip him and Urshela.
Yes, him and Urshela. I think Urshela should be batting 5th. Then it should be Mike Ford.
I might put...
Then Hicks, then...
I'd probably put Ford 5th, then Urshela, then Hicks, Sanchez, Gardner.
Yeah.
That's probably what I would do.
Man, remember the days when Gardner used to lead off?
Yeah, those were good when he was young and, you know, cute. But, yeah, so that's the lineup tonight and what we think. But also now it's like, okay, so what's going to happen? So right now Ford's DHing and Voigt's at first. But like we said, we called up Frazier, so what are we going to do with Frazier? Is he going to start left field? Because right now, Gardner's not having a good year. He has, like, I think 6 hits and half of them are home runs, which are great.
I would put Frazier in. I would have put Frazier in tonight as a DH, and here's why. He hasn't really seen any Major League pitching that much this season, And I know he's been around a couple years in the league. He knows what Major League pitching looks like. But I would have just put him as a DH just for tonight, get him used to the hitting, get the pitching, and then tomorrow, if you want to really consider him being your starting left fielder, then you put him in for left field.
The more I think about it, as much as I would like to do that, I'm probably keeping Ford and Voit at first in DH. I might take Gardner out and I put in Talkman. And I'd probably give Talkman the edge over Frazier right now for left. But again, they're going to play matchups for left field, center field, and all that. If Hicks and Gardner don't get their shit together, they're going to be on a platoon basis for center field most likely. And
they're gonna start wanting to show favor in Topman and Clint Frazier.
Or they might start doing Hicks in center, and then you throw Talkman and Frazier out and left and right. Put Judge as DH, or put Judge in right field and DH Talkman or Frazier. I don't like the idea of DHing Judge. I think he's one of the better defensive players in the league for two reasons. One,
I don't think they're going to DH Judge.
Me neither. He's the tallest player in the league, so he will be able to rob a few home runs. He will be able to lay out a little bit further than other players will.
He has a great arm, too.
He's going to rocket. It's Raul Mondesi 2.0. Do you remember him?
What'd you say?
Raul Mondesi. Do you remember him? Or
I do not.
I love that guy. He had an actual tattoo of a cannon on his arm, and dude would throw you out like every time.
Like Bo Jackman throwing from center field or right field.
Oh my god, I loved watching him, but then he got busted for steroids and was actually a terrible human. So, but it is what it is. That's tonight's lineup. That's what we think about it.
Now, do we have Jordan Montgomery bouncing back tonight? Because look, he's only got 6 strikeouts this whole season and 2 starts, and that is pretty bad.
He's not a strikeout guy.
He's not a strikeout guy, but I think you should have a little more than 6 at this point. I think tonight, I think he plays a little well, and I think he gets his ERA into the 4s. If he plays really well, goes late into the game, maybe 5 or 6 innings, but that all depends how he plays. If Acuna Jr. gets to him and starts hitting some home runs off of him.
But that's the thing with Montgomery. He's not a guy who's going to give up a lot of fly balls. So, I mean, this is the one game he played at Yankee Stadium this year. Winning it in 4 innings.
He did really well.
Gave up... That doesn't make any sense. This is wrong.
He did play really well the Yankees' first homestand.
Yeah, he went 5 2/3 inning, 5 hits, 1 run. He was a home run, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. And the other reason he only has 2 strikeouts is he went 4 innings and gave up 5 runs, so they pulled him. But he's not a strikeout guy. He's not going to be a guy that racks up 200 strikeouts or a strikeout per inning. He's going to be a guy that gets a lot of ground balls. And last week, that's what happened with him. He got a couple guys on base and looked a little scary. He's like, oh, what's going to happen? We don't know what's going to happen. He's going to give up a run, give up a clutch hit. No, he kept getting ground ball after ground ball after ground ball, which is fantastic. Got a couple of double plays. But the problem that the Yankees have had lately is we saw it against Philly and we saw it against Tampa. They just can't turn 2. I don't know what it is, but they just can't do it. They're a little too slow, and they keep getting beat by literally half a second that they just can't beat it. And it's bad, because then you're giving up extra runs, just stuck in the inning a little bit longer. And listen, the umps suck too. There's been a couple calls that were very questionable, and we're not even going to get into how bad they would call in the game when we lost 5-3, but the umps are terrible. So even with instant replay and all that, it's never guaranteed
Angel
to get the right
Hernandez needs to stop. I know he didn't ump at all this series, but he just needs to...
The game we lost 5-3.
Okay, well, he just needs to leave.
Yeah.
Even Joe West. Joe West is getting really old.
Yeah. These guys are so old, they don't care what they do. And Nevin even said, John Boy posted it, and it was actually really funny when Nevin came out and started screaming at Hernandez.
Angel Hernandez.
Him and Judge were there. Not Judge. Him and Boone were there. And you pick up the hot mics, which is amazing that John Boy figured out how to do that.
That's also why I'm happy there's no fans in the stands this season, because live television is picking up all this, and they're not really censoring it.
Yeah.
So you're hearing F-bombs getting dropped. You're hearing your dumbest shit, hearing some great things.
Yeah.
And I love hearing... It may not be professional, but I love hearing players and coaches cursing at one another on it, because it just makes the game so much more realistic.
Exactly. But
it's so much more fun.
Nevin yelled at Angel Hernandez, just leave. We all know you don't want to be here. What does that mean? Why, if you don't want to be there, Whether it's for Corona and you want to protect yourself and your family, fine. Then don't come in. We get that. Then no one's going to be mad at you. We'll all actually be very happy if Angel Hernandez never calls another baseball game in his life.
We're not just saying this for the Yankees. We're saying this for every major league team.
He's just bad.
He should just be the designated umpire for the Astros.
No, he should just retire. Give him a nice severance package so he never wants to do this again.
Just force retirement on him.
Yeah, seriously. I don't even think he's that old. That's the thing that sucks. But
I don't care. He's the worst umpire. I'd rather listen to Joe Buck for an entire season than have Angel Hernandez call a game.
Oh God.
You don't agree with that?
I mean, I hate both of them. Neither one of them are good at their jobs. I wish it was up to me to say whether or not they could continue their job, but it's not.
You guys need to go talk on other sports, which Joe Buck does, but
yeah,
that's why he's been MIA right now.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see Frazier play.
Yeah, whenever that happens, I'm hoping tonight, maybe, if the Yankees are doing really well, maybe...
If it's a blowout one way or the other, I think they might put him in just to get, a taste
get him
of the
loose.
Exactly.
Get him loose. Look, it's still in the earlier stages of the season. I think once we hit 20 games, that's do or die at that point.
Yeah.
20 to 25. And so the season goes into late September, right?
Yeah, like usual.
Or a little more into September.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the first week of October that they're going to stop and then start the playoffs. It might even end the end of September because they're expanding playoffs.
That too, and everyone's playing double headers right now to catch up. Which the Marlins and the
Marlins have a 700 winning record.
The Marlins and the Cardinals right now are really just screwing shit up.
Cardinals only played 5 games. Let's talk about the Cardinals. To me, they get to do that Friday, and they're pissing me off right now.
Yeah, a little sidetrack with the Cardinals. The fact that team decided, hey, let's go out to a casino and, all get COVID. Yeah, thanks, Cardinals. I'm not saying that that's affecting the Yankee schedule, but it's affecting baseball altogether. Yeah. And you're jeopardizing the game right now. When there probably shouldn't have been a season this year, but the commissioner of baseball, who I hate, who I hate, by the way, made an agreement with the Players Association to get something together, and you're going to go out there because you want to go to a casino and ruin things? Come on, guys.
The Cardinals are idiots, and there's not only the Cardinals' fault, this is the Players Association's fault, as well as the owners and the commissioner. There should have been some sort of rule where players quarantine themselves. When you're at the hotel, you're with your team, you're with the professionals, and you're doing whatever. You should not be allowed to just leave off site and go wherever you want, willy-nilly. Like, look at what happened in basketball. I forgot who it was, but he went to a strip club. And he goes, I just wanted to get the wings. They got good wings.
You don't go to the strip club for wings.
The stripper came out and she goes, I gave him so many lap dances. He did not come for the wings. Are you out of your mind? So now he couldn't play for 2 weeks. And these players are getting fined. They're getting suspended. They're getting all this stuff. And MLB has to step up, and they have to do that. And
there was a pitcher, I think, I forgot what the Major League pitcher, I saw it the other day, on the Twins, I believe it was the Twins. I could be wrong. They sent him home. They said because he went out and violated the agreement with the team. He went out and hung out with friends in the city or something, and he came back to the clubhouse. They said go home.
Yeah, and this isn't a thing where your teammates are going to have your back. It's your teammates want to play, and you're now not only jeopardizing yourself, you're jeopardizing your teammates' health, you're jeopardizing your team's playing, and you're jeopardizing the other team now. And it's just bad.
Oh, sorry, not the Twins. Indians pitcher on restricted list after violations.
There you go. But MLB, like I said, they need to do better. They need to have bigger fines, bigger suspensions, and bigger, quarantine periods that you cannot be allowed to leave the team complex or the hotel you're at or wherever you are because it's quarantine. And it sucks to suck right now, but...
And these players deserve it too in the Indians, which are actually surprising, is Mike Clevenger and Zach Plesac are on a restricted list. Also, too, A's Laurinano was banned for 6 games after fighting with the Astros. If the Astros can't get any bans for cheating in the World Series, but that's a whole another argument. But that was great. By the way, sidetrack. I love the fact that Houston Astros are 7-9 right now, and they're doing really bad. And I'm loving the fact that Jose Altuve is playing straight trash. And did you like that video I sent you of him having so many errors?
Oh, it was bad.
Go look that up. Go follow, by the way, on Instagram. Or you don't have to follow them. You can just go check it out. It's called Beam in the Astros. There's this guy who made an Astros kind of a fan account, I guess, of every time the Astros get hit by a ball or anytime they play like crap. So go watch that because there is a montage video of Jose Altuve doing really bad.
It's fantastic.
Is that his average, 179?
No. That's it over the last however many games it's showing.
Well, I don't care. Good. Good.
I can't see this thing in the way.
All right, so back to the Yankees, who we actually like and love and actually follow guidelines when it comes to Major League Baseball. And I'm pretty sure that they're strict because Hal Steinbrenner or probably Aaron Boone definitely said, look, if you step out of the clubhouse and go to a club, I guarantee you won't be playing.
I would hope so. That's what they said. I can't say whether they did or they did not.
And we're just a classy organization, and I know that
yeah, we are, but
we have a weird, sketchy...
scumbags. I mean,
there's some sketchy past with the Yankees, but we're still classy. San Diego.
San Diego. New York. But, yeah, the Yankees, they're playing all right. They got a plus 14 run differential, so...
This is a great series to come back and just sweep 2 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
And I think
and then it's 4 games after Boston.
Boston. We go to Boston for that one?
I don't know.
I assume we do because Boston came to New York last series. Yeah, there's 2 great series. So sweep the Braves and take at least 3 out of 4 against Boston. Oh, we are? Okay.
You're home for the next 10 games. That's still
right. This is the Yankees' big homestand. Okay. Look, you go against the Braves, you go against Boston, you have Tampa come, and then you go to Citi Field, and then to Atlanta, and then you place it. That is a weird lineup. Wait, Mets, Braves, Mets. Tampa. Okay. Yeah, the Yankees are playing the same 4 teams this whole month,
let's
pretty
see
much.
when the season actually ends. So I think I might go to... we end out in Miami. This is awesome. Sunday, September 27th.
The Yankees have the easiest schedule this year. Come on.
Yeah. Miami sucks. Toronto sucks. Boston sucks. Baltimore sucks. Tampa's okay. Mets are decent. Nah, they suck. Atlanta's good. And that's it. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. So Nick just mentioned to me before we started the podcast, that he's like, oh, Baltimore's playing like really well right now. Like they might go to the playoffs. Like they're pitching pretty well and blah blah blah.
I didn't say they're pitching well. I just said that they were doing pretty well because they were in second place for a while.
Yeah,
and I think Tampa they just
leapfrogged them, but they're playing 500. So last week, the week before, we told you guys that playoffs are expanded to 16 teams, and whether or not you like that or don't like that. So at first, I didn't like it. I'm like, this is stupid. I hate that there's 16 teams for basketball. The one plays the 8, and it's an easy win for the 1. Just give them a bye, give them the week off or whatever it is, and then go into it. Like, it's stupid. I don't like that.
I'm still not the biggest fan of it. There are some parts of it I do kind of like, but I don't agree with extending the playoffs. Yeah. That's all. You should have had the season be extended, not the playoffs. But that's it's already done. It's already set in stone.
So the reason I think I brought this up, that having these 16 teams is so important, is because let's look at this. Okay, who's bad? Okay, the Angels. They're 6-11.
Well, you could do overall, and then that way you can see a whole list of who's doing better than right there.
Oh,
there you go. So that way you can see who's at the top. Who's
I want to do it this way. So you see Angels, they're 6-11, they're better than that. The Mets are 7-10, they're better than that. And Nationals 5-7, Philly 5-6, they're all better than that. Miami is not as good as 7-3. St. Louis, I mean, they've played 5 games. I'm not even getting
I don't even know if St. Louis is good or not because
they're a very good team, but
they're only 5 games in.
Exactly. And then, the Giants and Diamondbacks could be decent.
The West is having a nice run right now between the Rockies, the Dodgers, and surprisingly the Padres. Yeah. I really like what's going on over there.
But the point that I'm trying to get to is having these 16 games is so important because 16 teams is so important because you're going to get a team like the Marlins in who are bad and they're going to be bounced immediately, but a team like the Nationals who should have been in it if it was a 10-team postseason. If the Nationals just missed it by a game and Miami got it because they got off to such a hot start, that's ridiculous.
Even the Tigers, they're okay of a team, but they're not like...
The Tigers were the worst team in the league last year. Then this is all beginning, pitchers still finding their footing, batters still finding their groove, and just getting lucky.
I'm proud of the Tigers and the Orioles so far this year.
They're going to go back. They're going to regress to the mean. They're not going to be this
I'm proud of what they're doing so far.
They're both going to finish under 30 wins. And we'll go from there. But this is why having the 16 teams is so important, because if a team like the Orioles, who just was so hot that they won their first 33 games, and now they're over 500. Now they're in it when a team like the Indians, who were clearly better, but just had a rough start, that they only won 32 games, they would be bounced if it was 10 teams. Well, now you get to keep all the teams that are good enough in it, and these teams that are just like pretenders are going to just get bounced immediately. And, you know, if a team like Baltimore just, you know, they get 33 wins and they just get stupid hot in the playoffs, then that's a really cool story. I won't like it, but it's a cool story.
Well, to add on to that, you could, for Baltimore, you could have them play mediocre the whole season, and then the last week or two, you could just have them be on fire and then move their way up to second place, or I don't know if you're in third place if you make the playoffs. I think it's probably just going to be the first two teams plus a wild card. But you could have them move up to second place, and then like you said, they can the first round or 2 or 3. I don't know how many rounds they're doing yet. They can just dominate and take out crazy teams. They could take out, if they don't do the bubble that I know they're talking about, they can take out the Yankees and Minnesota in the first 2 rounds and make their way to whatever the next series is before the World Series.
All right, so I think that they're going to do it by the top 16 teams, but this is what I wanted. All right, so if they were to take the top 8 teams from top 5, we'll do the 10 games. If they were to take the top 5 from from each league, it would be Oakland as the 1. As
of now.
Yeah, as of right now, it would be Oakland as the 1, Twins as the 2, Tigers as the 3, Yankees as the 4, Indians at the 5. And then the National League would be the Cubs at the 1, then the Rockies, Dodgers, Marlins, and Braves. Now, there's 2 teams in both of those that shouldn't be there. Now let's add these extra 3 teams.
Yep.
So, for the AL, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get the Rays, you get Baltimore, you get Chicago, the White Sox. And then you go to the National League, and here you get the Padres, you get the Phillies. I'm not putting St. Louis because they're 2 wins. And then you get Cincinnati, who is under 500. But just seeing what this is, like how this started, you're getting the Marlins in the Tigers, the worst team in the league last year. And now you expand, okay, you get Baltimore, which sucks, and you technically get the Cardinals, but they're really good. But right now, I'm not counting them. But you get the Reds, who they're a good team. They have a lot of pieces, but they're a couple pieces away from being true contenders. And the teams that don't make it, you're looking at the Angels. You're looking at, I guess, the Mariners and the Rangers. You're looking at the Giants, the Mets, the Nationals.
The Pirates is a definite not making the playoffs this year. They're 3 wins.
Listen, we don't count them out. Look at Washington last year.
I'm counting them out. I'm not putting hope on the Pirates at all.
But there's still a lot of season left. I mean, it's only a quarter of the way through. Kind of.
Like I said, once it hits 20 to 25 games, that's when everything is going to start to matter right then and there.
And that's, when pitchers are going to find their groove. Like, we keep talking about Cole and like how he's doing really well. He's not playing like the $340 million man we expect him to be. We can all agree on that.
He's a win machine right now. He's not a strikeout machine, and that's
he had 10 strikeouts. I don't want to say that.
No, but
the other day he had 10 strikeouts.
Yes, but I'm saying he did play a really good game. But usually every game he gets decent amount of strikeouts,
and he's still finding his groove. And I think it was Michael Kay or David Cohen on the broadcast the other day said that he gave up a long shot to straightaway center field, and he hung his head like it's a home run, it's gone, and it's like,
but that's just the type of player Garrett Cole is.
Well, no, he's still getting used to the dimensions of Yankee Stadium and where a ball's going to go and all that stuff. So he's got to find the right pitches, what will go well. He's not getting all of the first pitch strikes that he should be. His knuckle curve is still looking really nasty, but the problem I'm most concerned about is he's giving up a home run in every game. He's not a pitcher that typically gives up a ton of home runs. And listen, it's 1 home run a game. I'm not worried about it.
That's not a big deal to me.
If he's pitching like Happ or Paxton giving up 2 to 3 home runs a game and walking 5 to 6 guys, then I'm worried. Cole is not walking a lot of guys. He's not giving up a lot of hits. And he's working his strikeouts up right now. So he'll get there. I'm not too concerned about it at the moment, but he will get there. Everyone needs to relax and just take some time and see just how good he is. Like right now,
by the way, our bullpen is still doing very well.
Why?
Very well.
This isn't right. Okay, here's he's What is this? This is not right.
So,
All right, so he's 3-0.
I don't want to keep hearing people complain about Gerrit Cole and what our bullpen is doing because they're doing pretty well. Look, Gerrit Cole's ERA is a little bit higher than usual. Yeah, but his whip is still under 1 right now.
Yeah, he's good. He's gone 4 games. He's 3-0. His WAR is .8. It'll get higher as the season goes on. His ERA is the highest it's been since he was with Pittsburgh. And, even when we tried to get him from Pittsburgh, I didn't understand the infatuation the Yankees had with him. He was consistently a guy whose ERA was about 3, and then his final year there, he was well over 4. Then he comes to Houston and drops it under 3 both years. That's fantastic. And then he was never a major big strikeout guy with Pittsburgh. Came to Houston and changed it. Went from a career high of 202 to 276, then even higher to 326. So, I think this is what we're going to see. I think we're going to see more of a guy that's going to pitch between a 2.9 and 3.2 ERA. He's going to get his strikeouts. I'm not worried about that. He's going to hit at 200, 250 a year. Not going to walk a lot of guys, never has. And his K to walk ratio, it's probably going to stay where it is, about 5. Hits, doesn't give up too many. And it doesn't show us how many home runs he's given up here, but I do want to see how many home runs he has given up in his per stop where he's been at, just to see what it is, because the 4-game streak is probably around one of the longest in his career, just games giving up a home run. But Cole will be fine. The Yankees will be fine. Tanaka looks great. Paxton, everyone was saying, "Oh, Paxton sucks. Paxton sucks." 2 things. Paxton won 10 games in a row last year. Was one of the best pitchers in the American League when he was healthy and was on fire. And then, was it Saturday? Yeah, Saturday.
10 strikeouts.
11 strikeouts.
Sorry, 11 strikeouts.
11 strikeouts. Went 6 1/3, and it was literally 2 bad pitches. He was efficient. He was throwing heat. He wasn't at his velocity we had hoped for, but he was still throwing around 93, which isn't great, but it's good. And the fact that he had 11 strikeouts shows he doesn't need a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. He's going to make you swing and miss and crap in the dirt, and it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. So, you got your big 3, Tanaka, Cole, Paxton. They're looking great. Hap needs to go somewhere far, far away. Send him on vacation.
Give Clark Schmidt a chance.
Bring up Clark Schmidt, and Montgomery looks great. You still have Loizaga, who's another guy who's looking okay. Loizaga,
does Luis Sessa start? I don't remember.
He's our long reliever.
Okay, but he came back too, and yeah, Chapman, I believe, comes back
this week.
He
should be pitching, I think. Boone was hoping by Wednesday, so hopefully tomorrow, well, today when you're listening to this, he will be back in the bullpen closing out games for us, push Britton down into more of a setup man role, which I'm a little bit more comfortable with him at.
But I do yeah, that's true. He is. I do feel more comfortable with him as a setup man, but I do like the games where Britton does close.
Oh, yeah, no, this isn't a knock on him. He's a great, great closer, and I have my issues with Chapman, as you will hear throughout the year. But I'm more comfortable with him as a setup guy. He does have overpowering stuff, but if you can get, Tanaka to 6 innings, Montgomery to 6, Hap to 5, and you could do that, then you bring in Sessa, you bring in Holder, you bring in Britton, you bring in Chapman, you bring in, who am I forgetting? Who's another guy? You bring in anybody. Just make the game shorter.
If you were a pitcher, who would you want to... what kind of pitcher would you want to be? Starter, reliever, setup, man?
Oh, I'd want to be a starter.
A closer or a opener?
I'd want to be a starter. Somebody sent me a picture from my 8th grade graduation yearbook, and she goes, "What is this?" First of all, I'm about 100 pounds smaller, actually 80, and I just look like a complete different person. And it says, what do you want to do when you get older? And this is what I said. I want to be either an MLB starting pitcher or an NFL player. First of all, since I'm young, since I'm a kid, I've tried to pitch. I have no control. I would never find the strike zone, and it would just be bad. People would hate me like they hate Hap. I was not good, and I never, ever had the weight to play football. As much as I wanted to, I couldn't. So, that's that. But, what would you want? Well, would you rather be a batter or a pitcher, and what position?
Well, if I was a pitcher, I would actually want to be a closer. I think closing a game is pretty cool.
It's very cool. A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, but I feel like would be great.
If you can handle the pressure, man, do it. I know I personally can't handle pressure.
if I was like a everyday sort of player, I mean, when I play baseball, I do catch, but I wouldn't want to be a major league catcher because yeah, but your career kind of isn't that long when you're a catcher. No. I would say if I could, either shortstop or third base. Third base technically is a little closer than shortstop sometimes. So you do have to have a really deep arm in both positions, but you have to be quick at hot corner. So probably those two positions.
I'd probably, they always put me in outfield in Little League, and that was good because no one could hit the ball that far, and I never had to do anything. I'm a very, very bad fielder, and so I guess I'd want to probably do left or right field or first base.
I don't know if I want to block 90-mile-an-hours coming from infielders to first base.
Yeah, that's a good point, but you do what you got to do for the team.
So that's us ranting about what position you play. What position would you play?
Oh yeah, let us know in the comments below.
So anyway, that is going to conclude today's episode of the Zap Yankee Podcast. You're listening to Nick and Richie, as always, every Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. on YouTube and Spotify. Check us out on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We don't have a Snapchat, so don't bother.
Oh, yeah. Unless you want to pay us. We'll make a Snapchat if you pay us. Snapcash.
Snapcash.
All right, tell everybody you know, your friends, your family, your grandmas, your dogs, your cats, your fish, that weird guy at the grocery store that's always just there.
Not buying anything.
Yeah, just there, just hanging around, just watching people push carts. Tell him about us. Tell everybody. The more people you know, the more stuff we'll make and the more fun we'll all have. Remember, keep tuning in. We're going to have a lot of posts on Instagram and TikTok. I made a really funny TikTok today. If you want to make fun of Yankee outfielders with injuries, check it out. Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.